talk.
Well, I went to the movie last night with Helen and Rhonda.
Yeah.
Third wheeled on their date, and it was very fun. We got to hear all of the songs.
She does a quick brief of what each song means to her.
It was awesome. It was very fun.
Oh,
So I'm coming in very joyfully today.
Let's do it.
Finding joy in the moment, being present. So let's get started on our backs. We're going to be present here. We're going to find the breath, finding any way that you're comfortable, reclining back. If you need any props and bolsters or blankets as you move today, let me know. As I say, this is full service yoga. I'm happy to get you anything.
Good night, Mary. See you in an hour and 15 minutes.
I am fully on board with that. I would love that. As you begin to settle into your mat, you might bring a hand to the belly, or the chest, or anywhere in your body that feels right for you today. And we're just taking a moment here to let the breath settle. You might be really excited thinking about new music. We might have a running to-do list of things in our head. We might be replaying something that happened during the week, but this is our chance to let that all go, to come back to the breath. And that begins with noticing it. Allow yourself to feel what happens with each inhale and exhale in your body. Maybe the belly is rising and falling. Maybe that breath is more in the chest right now. Maybe we're noticing in the back. See where you feel that breath. You might begin to bring a little more intention into the breath. That might look like slowing it down, maybe breathing a little more deeply, becoming aware of the belly the ribs and the chest as you inhale and exhale. Let's bring that same awareness to the soles of the feet. You might notice something physical, maybe an itch or a cramp, or maybe they're tired from the day. You might notice the breeze or the temperature of the room against your skin. Maybe you can give your feet a point and a flex, wiggling through. And then seeing if there's anywhere in those feet that you can relax. You can soften a little bit more, moving into the ankles, maybe giving a little wiggle and softening as well. We'll move up the body, seeing where we can soften, taking inventory, noticing in the calves, the shins, maybe flexing the muscle before allowing a deeper release. Noticing the knees, seeing how they're feeling today. Up to the thighs, both the front, your quad muscles, and the back, down the hamstring. Seeing how that's feeling. If you're needing to move any part of your body as you notice through and take this inventory, feel free. This is your time and it's your body. Bring that awareness into the hips, into the front and back of the pelvis. Maybe allowing that to be a little heavier, to melt a little more into the mat. Moving up to the belly and seeing how we might soften a little bit more. Letting those muscles go. Around to the back. Noticing how that low and mid back so slightly with each breath. Up to the mid-torso and the rib cage. Maybe pulling those ribs together a little closer and exhaling to soften and release. Up into the chest and shoulders. Noticing the shoulder blades, the collarbone. Maybe those shoulder blades can melt a little bit more into the mat. And down the arms, from the tops of the shoulders, down the biceps, the elbows. Maybe giving your arms a little wiggle. Down to the elbows. Rolling out wrists and fingers, maybe making a fist, whatever feels right in your body. Pressing the palms out nice and long, and then softening, seeing what can relax a little bit more. We'll move back up the arm to the tops of the shoulders, to the neck, maybe turning the head ever so slightly. Noticing how you're feeling today. Letting the back of the head get a little heavier, melting more into the mat, as if you could slip right through the floor. Softening the jaw, and the tongue, across the cheekbones and the bridge of your nose, across the eyebrows, and even into your scalp. Relaxing, softening, and allowing yourself to be wherever you are. All of those data points you collected, you can observe them without judgment, without congratulation, using that to guide our practice today. We'll take a few more breaths here. If you choose to set an intention for your practice today, this is a beautiful time to do that. If not, that's fine too. Take one or two more breaths, and when you're ready, we're going to make our way however you'd like to get there onto your belly. You can roll over right where you are, if you'd like to flip around, any way you'd like to move here together. Perfect. I think we should all have room here. We're just going to lay down on our belly to begin. Your arms can be by your sides or up by your shoulders, whatever feels good to you. You can allow the forehead, nose, or chin to come down to the mat. You can always interlace your hands, use them as a pillow. And just take a moment here. A slightly different setup on the mat from how we typically start. Notice the breath here as well. That expansion and contraction might be more noticeable in the back body this time. When you're ready, we're going to bring the arms right in front of us. So elbows are under the shoulders, forearms are pressed down to the mat. We're in our Sphinx pose. Nice and soft here. And we're just going to begin by lifting and lowering the chin. Nodding the head yes. Finding that movement all in the head and the neck, trying to keep the shoulders and the chest right where they are. As that movement might begin to expand, you might notice your shoulders are starting to move a little bit with it. That's fine. But let the head, the neck, the chin, that's what's driving the movement here. You might take a moment in any shape here, letting the chin hang down towards the chest, neck, back of the neck is long. Maybe take a moment with the chin drawn up towards the sky. Take about 2 more breaths here, nodding the head. And when you're ready, we'll lower back down. Drawing the hands under the shoulders, elbows down by the sides. And lowering that head back down to the mat just for a moment. We're going to lift those shoulders, rolling them up and back, just like we're coming into a baby cobra, but we're really letting the shoulder roll draw the lift here. As we exhale, round the shoulders back down, let that bring you back down to your mat. We'll take a few more, inhaling and rolling the shoulders back into that baby cobra. Exhale, rounding those shoulders back down. One more. And when you're ready, we'll settle back down. We're going to draw that right knee out into a half frog here. So we're at like a 90-degree angle with that right leg. Perfect. Holding here for a breath, getting comfortable here. You might move your knee up or down. You might bend that knee a little more or straighten it. See what feels right in your body. Bringing awareness across the front of the pelvis. And then we're going to bring the arms back in front, elbows back under the shoulders, coming up into a sphinx with that half frog leg here. We'll turn the chin over towards that right shoulder. Taking a breath there, maybe gazing over that right shoulder to peek at those right toes. Take a moment, check in with that right hip. See if you can soften it down to the mat a little bit more. And we're going to turn the head over to that left shoulder. Same gaze, back behind. Take a few more, shaking the head no. Moving nice and slowly. If you're feeling a lot of intensity in the low back, you can always lower down more on your arms, bringing them in front of you. Just decreasing how much you're pressing up. We'll take one more breath here. And then lower all the way back down. Bring that right leg in. Set yourself back up. We're going to take that shoulder roll, baby cobra, rolling the shoulders up and back into our baby cobra. Hands are under shoulders here, elbows down by the ribs. Take 3 breaths like this. Last one. Settle back down, and then we'll bring that left knee out into that half frog here. Take your moment to set yourself up. Check in with the pelvis, the back. You can even use your hand, feeling the back of that left hip, seeing how that feels, maybe a little gentle encouragement to soften that left hip down into the mat a little more. And when you're ready, we'll bring those arms back into that sphinx, elbows under shoulders. And start by gazing over that left shoulder. Peering all the way to the left corners of the eyes. Breathing here. Softening shoulders a little bit more. You might be trying to hike up. See where you can soften. And then we'll switch that gaze over the right shoulder. And we'll take these few breaths here, moving at our own pace, shaking the head no. Looking over side to side, pausing where it feels right in your body. And when you're ready, we come back to center. And lower the upper body back down. Bring that leg back in behind you. Let's interlace the hands or stack them one on top of each other. You can bring your forehead down to your hands in front. Take a nice bend of the knees, and we'll just windshield wiper those legs back and forth. Shifting side to side. If you accidentally tap your neighbor, congratulations, you have a new best friend. We're at slumber party time here. Beautiful. We'll bring those legs back to center, send them back down. Hands come back under the shoulders here. We're gonna roll those shoulders up, coming back to that baby cobra, taking a moment here. And then let the hands hover just an inch or two off the mat, showing that we're using our core, our torso to hold us up. Next inhale, we might raise that torso a half an inch, a centimeter, tiny bit, using that strength in the core. And exhale, lower back down, all the way down. One more time, we're gonna inhale back to that baby cobra, let the hands hover. This time we're gonna press the hands into the mat and lift up, pressing in, upward facing dog. As much as that lift is for you, it might not feel very good to come all the way up today. Let yourself be where you are. The elbows can be bent, anything that feels good. Take a breath here, see where you can soften. And exhale all the way back down. Keeping the hands pressed into the mat, we're going to walk them a little bit wider. So you might come almost all the way to the edges of your mat so they're not directly under shoulders anymore. And press into the hands, elbows coming out nice and wide here as well, almost making a T. And we'll lift up, same motion as that baby cobra, using the core and the torso to lift. We're going to drop that left shoulder down towards the mat. Maybe the head comes down as well. Pressing back through the hands, over, lowering that right shoulder down. Little shoulder dip side to side. You control your range of motion, how much you're lifting, how much you're lowering. It might be higher, it might be lower. This movement with the breath. Allow yourself to inhale as you press up and exhale as you lower down. Notice the spot at the top of the lift that feels really good. It might be lower than you think. We're going to take 2 more on each side. That's 4 more breaths. And when you're ready, you can come back to center, walking those hands a little closer together under the shoulders and breathing there. We'll come back to that shoulder roll, lifting ourselves into our baby cobra or upward facing dog. But we're going to keep pressing through the hands, pushing the hips back, coming into our child's pose. Taking a moment there. Let the big toes come together. Take a moment to adjust yourself. Let the knees come as wide as feels good for you. You can use your hands to adjust your thighs or your belly. Make enough space to accommodate all of you. Let this feel as easy as possible. Make enough room for breath to flow easily. And we're going to find that shoulder roll into a ripple just a few times, rolling from your child's pose. And we'll round through the spine, almost like our cat pose, lowering back down onto the belly. Rolling shoulders up. Maybe we're finding our cow pose as we press back to child's pose. Move at your own pace here. Maybe walk the hand a little further out, find more of a stretch. Make this your own, see where it feels good. We'll take 2 more ripples forward and back. And when you're ready, take a moment. You can rest in your child's pose. And when you feel ready to move yourself on your mat, you can come up into your tabletop. We're going to flip around so we're all facing the front. And then we'll sit it back into that child's pose once more. Then we're on the same direction. Let the arms walk out in front. We're going to bend at the elbows, drawing the palms of the hands together, maybe bringing the hands behind the nape of the neck. Maybe drawing those biceps and triceps down towards the mat a little bit more, finding a little more flexion in the shoulder stretch here. If that does not feel good, keep those arms out nice and long. I'm taking one more breath here. And then send those arms out long. If they're not already, we're going to walk the hands in towards the knees, lifting up the upper body. We're going to sit ourselves down. Bring the soles of the feet together to begin. Our little toddler pose here. Put you like your blocks underneath. Feel free to add them. Take a moment to soften here. Lifting the torso, but softening the shoulders. Lifting the crown of the head, but softening the neck. We're finding a steady and up position here, right? Nice and lifted, but not forcing. Taking one more moment. And maybe we'll draw that right here towards that right shoulder. Allowing that shoulder to soften, finding a little more space. That right shoulder will not be caught by that right ear. And we'll come back up to center and drop left ear or left ear towards left shoulder. Again, see where you can soften. Check back in with the hips as well. Sometimes even the hips want to help out here. Can we level the sits bones? Take one more breath. And we'll come back to center. We'll sweep those arms out nice and wide. Inhaling up. We'll follow our hands with our gaze, the eyes coming up. Finding a little more length, reaching arms up, letting the arms and shoulders lift away from the rib cage, and we're going to fold forward. As long as we can stay straight with the arms by the ears, we stay there. When you can't come any more forward, allow yourself to soften and round down towards the floor. Wherever the hands or arms come to rest. Draw the crown of the head a little more towards the floor or the feet, finding some more length in the back of the neck. Take another breath or two here. And when you're ready, we're going to walk the arms out a little bit further, finding that stretch back in the shoulders. Come through that round spine, and then lift the arms back up by the ears, finding that flat, straight, long back again. And then come all the way back up. A little bit of core work there as a surprise. We'll bring those hands into heart center. Strong back here. We inhale, lengthen, exhale. We're going to twist over to your right. Twisting just through the torso, just through that rib cage first. Breathing here. Next, inhale, we'll draw that right shoulder blade in towards the spine. Left shoulder blade moves away from the spine. Maybe that gaze comes over that right shoulder, bringing the twist into the neck. We'll be here for a few breaths. With each inhale, we find a little more length, sitting up taller. And with each exhale, there might be a little more depth in this twist. One more round of breath here. One more inhale for length, and exhale, we come back to center. Take a moment, soften the shoulders. And next, inhale, we find that length once again. Exhale, twist over to your left, just through the torso. Just breathing here. Next breath, the left shoulder blade moves in towards the spine. Right shoulder blade moves away. Maybe gazing over that left shoulder. You don't have to force that full rained out twist at once. Each breath is another opportunity to explore a little bit more. Take one more breath here. And next, inhale, we find that length. Exhale, come back to center. We'll bring those hands back up overhead. Let the hands separate. Biceps are near our ears. One more time, we'll find that length getting longer and longer. When we can't find any more length, pressing that tailbone into the mat, reaching fingertips away. Let yourself round and soften back down here. Take another breath or two. And when you feel ready, we're going to walk the hands in this time, sitting ourselves up nice and tall. Taking a breath, we'll send those legs out long in front. Take a moment here. You can give yourself a nice massage down the thighs. Beautiful. We're going to grab hold of that right knee. Just hug that in. That foot might hover. It might stay down to the mat, whatever's feeling good. We're just going to explore a little bit of compression between the top of the thigh and the torso or the chest. We all have different setups of hip flexors here. Maybe it feels good to go side to side. Just moving a little bit, exploring that. And then we're going to grab that right foot with the left hand to right knee. And we're going to rock that baby. Seeing if there's any more room in those hip flexors to move here. And when you're ready, we're going to set that right foot down across that left thigh. You might bring that left hand to the right knee, finding that height, inhaling for length. And we twist over to the right side. You can bring that right hand behind. Maybe gazing over that right shoulder. We're in our half Lord of the Fishes. Breathing here. If it feels good, you can bring that left elbow to that right knee. Maybe fingertips pointing up towards the sky. One more breath. And then we'll release anywhere we're holding or pressing and gently bring ourselves back to center. You can use your hands to uncross that right leg, send it out nice and long. Give yourself a nice wiggle here. Find that same exploration, bringing that left knee in, finding a little bit of compression between the top of the thigh and the torso. Maybe rocking out just a bit, wherever feels good. There might be something that your body's asking to do. You can go ahead and do that here. And when you feel ready, right hand grabs left foot, left hand to left knee. Find yourself nice and supported here. We're lifted up nice and tall, and we'll rock that leg across, letting yourself shift through the hips. One more breath here. Before we cross that left foot over, plant it down into the mat, right hand to left knee. You can bring that left hand behind and twist into it here. If you're looking to explore a little bit more stretch in that outside hip, you can use that right hand to pull that knee closer, or maybe soften down. See how that feels. Or maybe bring that right elbow to the left knee, fingertips towards the sky, and press into your twist that way. Take one more breath here. And when you're ready, gently support yourself, bring yourself back to center. Uncross that leg. And wiggle the legs out one more time. We'll sweep those arms out and up. Inhaling to lift as much as we can, and we'll explore that compression. Folding down forward. Pressing the upper body into the thighs. That might mean the knees bend as we press ourselves down. same feeling or sensation as our forward fold. Let the upper body be fully supported. Let it be heavy and just drape over the legs. Knees can bend as much as you need. Hands grab on wherever they fall. And you soften through the shoulders, or the back of the neck. Letting the chin come in towards the chest, crown of the head drawing down. One more breath here. And next, inhale. We'll lift ourselves back up, release wherever we're holding. Send those legs out long if they're bent. We're just going to point and flex through the feet a few times. Wiggle around those ankles. Yogi's choice here, whatever your feet, ankles, and body is needing here. And when you're ready, we're going to make our way back into a tabletop. Getting there however you like. And actually, we're going to come down onto the forearms in that tabletop. So elbows are under the shoulders. Hands are planted down onto the mat. Knees are under hips here. Taking a moment, maybe nodding the head, yes and no. And when you're ready, we're going to bring that right hand behind that right ear, opening the torso, open to that right side, sending that right arm up, and we thread the needle over that left forearm. Drawing that right elbow all the way across, maybe coming down to the mat, or maybe just hovering, resting on top. Drawing that right shoulder down. That head might pillow on your bicep, whatever you need here. And then taking one more breath. And we're going to we're going to press into that left hand, bring that right arm back across, open back out. We're going to come back into a threaded needle one more time. This time, yogi's choice. You might come right on top of that left forearm, or you might lower underneath, whichever's feeling better for you today. Take a moment here. One more breath. We press back into that left hand, unravel all the way up to the top. Come back down to that forearm. We'll take that on the second side. Left hand behind left ear. We open out, send the arm up, and then cross right on top of that right forearm, sending that left shoulder down. One more breath here. We press into that right hand, unravel, left hand comes back out, and then yogi's choice for this threaded needle might come under, might come back over. One more breath here. And then we'll press into that right hand, unravel one more time. And we come into our tabletop here. Let's take a moment, settle in, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Nice and supported here, which means we're hugging the rib cage around that spine, around the midline of the body, nice and strong. Letting the core hold some of us up so it's not all in the shoulders, or the arms, or the knees. And when you're ready, on your next inhale, we let that belly fill with breath, drawing that belly down towards the mat. Collarbone opens, head lifts up, tailbone lifts. You might wiggle those hips back and forth, finding a little more space for breath to flow in, but we'll take a full round of breath right here. Next, exhale, we'll round that spine, tilting the pelvis under, letting the crown of the head draw down. Shoulder blades separate in this cat pose. Maybe wiggling out shoulders or hips, seeing what your body is looking for. Maybe shaking the head full round of breath. And then we'll flow between our cat-cow at your own pace, with whatever movement or adjustments you're looking for. As you flow through here, you might check in with the tops of your feet, the mid-back, the wrists, the insides of your elbows, the arches of your feet, the places you don't think about as much here. Two more rounds of breath moving through. And when you're ready, we'll come back to that tabletop, finding that stillness. But even though there's stillness here, there's still effort. We're still using that core strength. We're still noticing. One more breath here, engaging. Looks like still waters from outside. But when you're ready, we'll exhale and let go of everything you're holding. Bring those big toes together. Walk those knees nice and wide and soften down into your child's pose. If child's pose does not feel restful for you, if it feels hard to breathe or it just isn't as comfortable, you can find any other position that does feel better for you. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And when you're ready, we'll come back into our tabletop, this time grabbing our blocks so we have them nearby. Just set one right at the top of our mat so it's there. The other one we can take in our hand. We're going to bring it behind that right calf and thigh, squeezing it in. We're going to really draw the hands down into the mat. Nice and set up well here so we have stability. We're going to keep squeezing that block as we lift that knee behind us. So that thigh is still level with the torso. And we're just going to bring that knee underneath and then back out. Underneath and back out. This is very similar to that compression that we were talking about earlier. This time that compression is between the shin and the thigh. We'll take 2 more, drawing underneath and out. Underneath and out. We'll bring that knee back down. You can adjust the block. We're going to take that one more time. This time opening out to the side. We're starting by hovering that knee, still underneath the hips, and then opening out to the side and down. Opening out to the side.
Without the block?
You can have the block there. If the block doesn't feel good, you can let it go at any point. Sometimes with certain pianos, they just don't want to stay, and sometimes these bigger blocks are a little more unwieldy for it. We'll take 3 more. Last one. And lower. Beautiful. You can set that block to the side. Walk it back to a child's pose or anywhere that feels good. Give your shoulders a wiggle. And we'll come back to tabletop, just taking that on the second side, setting yourself up. Once you have that block wedged in there, sometimes they don't want to stay. It's like white noise with the blocks falling. A nice hailstorm, totally fine. And when you're ready, we'll begin to lift and lower that knee. We're going for about 8 total. Squeezing that compression between the calf and the thigh, whether or not that block stays. We're just looking for that compression and activation. As we lift and lower, one more. And then we'll draw that knee down underneath that hip and reset. One more time, squeezing that block there, hovering that left knee. Then we open out to the side. Beautiful. Find that compression. We have 4 more. Noticing how that hip opens from that hip flexor and then draws back down. Last one. And then set that block aside and send it back to your child's pose. Give yourself a nice wiggle. See how you're feeling here. Before we come back up to our tabletop. When we come up to our tabletop, we're going to come up on our blocks here. If this doesn't feel good in your shoulders or anything, you can set them aside. But we're going to start by sending that left leg behind us, curling toes under. And we're going to pivot that right shin out behind us like a kickstand. So when we press into that right hand, we can open up easy into our side plank here. Now what we're going to explore in this side plank is turning that pelvis. Right now that left hip is pointing up towards the sky. We're going to turn that whole torso and pelvis by bringing that left hand down to the block and turning back to that starting position here. So we're back right where we started. We're going to kickstand that leg behind, open out. We're going to take that 3 or 4 more times, turning the torso and the pelvis down, bringing that right shin back, and then opening back out. Last one. Opening and turning back down. Beautiful. Lower that old left knee. We'll send that right leg out nice and long. Left shin kickstands behind. We press into left hand. Open that right arm, finding that length in the side plank. And then we turn that whole torso down. Opening back, using that left shin. It's like a little rudder there. Coming back underneath. And turning back out. One more. Last time. Beautiful. We come back to that starting position. Bring that knee down. And we can set those blocks a little more forward. We'll curl the toes under and press the hips up and back. Coming into your first downward facing dog. Take some time, pedal out the feet. Adjust your stance. Of course, if you like blocks under hands or downward facing dog, feel free to use them here. Pedal out the hips, wiggle out the shoulders, shake the head, see what's feeling good for you here. Beautiful. We're going to lift up nice and high on tippy toes. And exhale, draw the heels down. Don't have to touch them out, we're just drawing them away. One more time on tippy toes as the hips shift further higher. See if we can lower that torso down and soften the heels down. We're going to walk the feet in towards the hands, getting into a nice ragdoll. Maybe grabbing opposite elbow, swaying side to side. If you have the block set up in front of you, you can bring your hands to your blocks. We'll inhale, finding that flat back. Fingertips might graze the blocks or the floor, or press against the shins or thighs. We're finding that really long spine. So tailbone and crown of the head could not get any further apart here. Even while we hold, it's the same as when we were in our tabletop. Core is so active, pulling into that midline. We're gonna send the arms out nice and long as well, biceps coming towards the ears, finding this flat back. The knees might bend a little more here, giving us a little more space to keep this fold. And as we inhale, we're gonna lift the hands up towards the sky, lifting up to our extended mountain. Beautiful breathing. Taking a moment. And exhale, hands coming in through heart center and down to Tadasana. Take a moment here. Shift the weight side to side. Seeing what it feels like to have all the weight on one foot, maybe the other foot even hovers. And back and forth. Coming back to center. We'll tilt forward and back. The heels and the toes might lift a bit as we sway. And when you're ready, we'll come back to center. Softening here. Finding truly even balance between both feet. Weight equally distributed around the whole foot. Toes pressing into the mat. Arches of the feet strong. Heels grounding here. We'll take one more breath. And as we inhale, we'll sweep the arms out wide, coming back up overhead. Bringing the gaze up to the hands, reaching the arms a little bit higher. Maybe gentle back bend, maybe the hips are trying to press forward. And next exhale, press the walls away, swan dive down into your forward fold. Find that same support for the upper body by that lower body. Letting yourself drape here, letting the knees bend, letting the crown of the head be heavy. Hands sweep back up the shins or thighs. Inhale to flat back. We might bring the arms by the ears, find that extended flat back. And exhale, release forward fold. Hands come down in line with the feet. We'll step the feet back one at a time to a high plank, or maybe lower the knees to tabletop. We'll exhale, lower the torso all the way down. And inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. And take our time flowing through these sun salutations at our own pace. And next breath, we'll curl the toes under and press back into our downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Two more rounds of breath. Next exhale, we'll soften the knees, shift the gaze forward to the hands, and walk the feet up towards the hands. Inhaling here, finding that forward fold. Next inhale, we find that flat back half lift. Maybe the arms extend. And exhale back to forward fold. Reversing that swan dive, lifting up. Arms high, Urdhva and exhale, hands down to heart center to Tadasana. We'll take that flow one more time. Inhaling, arms high. Let's add that gentle back bend, reaching behind. Back through the center. Exhale, press the walls away. Forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Option to extend the arms. And lower the hands back down. Step the feet back, high plank or chaturanga dandasana. And exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, baby cobra or upward facing dog. And we exhale, press back, downward facing dog. We're gonna take about 5 rounds of breath. Here's all the time to find our way, pedal through, shake it out. Lower the knees if that feels good. Option to draw the knees down towards the mat and press back up in a little quasi squat. I want to try that. 2 more breaths here. And last one. We'll soften the knees, shift the gaze forward. Next breath, you can step, walk, or hop the feet to the hands. Inhale, flat back. Option to extend the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse that swan dive. And exhale, Tadasana. Beautiful. Take a moment here in your Tadasana. We're going to do a little bit of balance play before we come into our little flow for the day. You want to grab some water or shake it out. Great time. First little way to play before we really start moving and grooving. We're going to grab that block and try that same hip sequence. Block behind the knee, standing. We're playing with balance here. So we're just going to lift that leg as much as we need to. Keep that block there and find that balance. Bring your hands to hips, heart center, whatever helps you balance more. If you need to move somewhere in the room that you can hold onto the wall, always an option. Once you've found that balance, we're just going to explore opening that right knee out to the right side, keeping that same compression, drawing that heel all the way back towards the glute, opening and closing. Beautiful job. 2 more breaths here. Gorgeous. And lowering down, remove the block, wiggle out the legs. You can reset at any point. We're just playing here. Grabbing that block, bringing it behind the left. Finding that nice squeeze. Sometimes I find pulling that heel as tight as possible actually helps with the balance. Really engages that left side, that lifted side. That standing side is not all alone. Opening that hip flexor out and drawing back in, finding that balance. 2 more. And when you're ready, grabbing that block, lowering back down, wiggling it out. We're going to come back into our tree now. So we're going to play with that balance. But what we really did just there is activated that lifted side and felt that strength. That helped us lift out of that standing leg a little more. So we're going to be searching for that same lifted, active sensation in both legs here. So we're going to start by just coming onto the ball of the foot on the right foot. Bring your hands to your hips wherever you want to be. And just open and close from that hip flexor. Find where your turnout is today. You probably found a little bit of it with those hip opens. And when you find a spot that feels good, you can kickstand that right heel against that left leg. You are in your tree. You might bring your hands to heart center, by your hips, wherever feels good. Softening the shoulders. You might stay here, or you might inhale, lifting that right leg, using just that leg in your core, using that strength. Beautiful. Arms might stay at heart center, maybe expand out, or settling that gaze, or feeling the compression of that lifted leg, equally active, both sides of hips. And when you're ready, draw that knee in and lower back down, shake it out. How does that feel? Everybody was really balanced there. I just was very impressed. A lot of time with the full room, as soon as one person starts swaying, everybody does. Take a moment, wiggle it out. We're going to set it on that second side, rooting into that right foot. Coming onto the ball of that left foot, finding that turnout. When you found what feels good, you kickstand that left heel, set up, you are in your tree. This tree here, you might stay right here. You might inhale using your strength of your hip, your thigh, your core. Lifting that left foot somewhere along that standing line. Breathing here. Maybe the arms extend. Maybe it's a windy day. You can always reset at any point. We'll go for about 2 more breaths, but at any point you can settle down. Beautiful job. We'll turn that knee in when you're ready. And lower back down. Great job, everybody. That was very impressive. I should take a picture of that. That was very great. Okay, we're going to wiggle it out. So we're going to come into a flow where we're going to play with all of that open and closed hip stuff and also some balance work. So we'll start flowing it out in our mountain pose right at the top of our mat. We're in our Tadasana. We're finding that balance that we played with at the beginning of our Tadasana, of our sun salutations, equal balance on both feet. Actually, before we do that, make sure you have your blocks set up. We're going to have them towards the front of the mat. Sorry. And you can set them up however you're comfortable. We're going to come down into a lunge. So whatever height you need them at, you can always adjust as we flow. We're going to start right here, though, finding that mountain once more. Softening the shoulders, lifting through the torso, but that core is nice and engaged. We'll inhale, arms high up. Exhale, we'll bend the knees, set those hips back, coming into a chair. Nice and lifted through that torso and the chest. Arms up along the ears. We're going to find that fold, lifting. Knees might bend a little more, lowering that chest down, coming towards that flat back in the chair. Knees might bend a little more, hips might shift back, breathing here. And then hands come down to blocks as we fold forward. Press the hands into your blocks, and we'll step that right foot back, high lunge here. Really ground yourself through those blocks, nice solid left foot in front on the ball of that back leg, maybe rocking a little bit through the hips. And when you're ready, we're going to root that right foot down behind us and lift up, warrior one. Find a sturdy base here for your warrior. Lift it through the core. Nice bend in that front knee. We're going to find that same forward fold, reaching the arms out nice and long, strong core. One more breath. And next exhale, we'll sweep the arms behind us. Deepening down, humble warrior. The arms can come behind, reaching up towards the sky. Maybe the hands interlace. Whatever feels good. We'll take one more breath here. And as we exhale, we'll release the arms back down. Inhaling, sweeping arms open, pivoting that back foot, warrior two. Breathing there. Beautiful. Take a moment. Nice bend in that front knee. Nice equal weight between both legs. We'll lower that right hand down behind that right thigh. Left arm sweeps open and up. Reversing the warrior. Full breath. Next, exhale, come back to that warrior two, this time lowering that right hand down inside. Come into that extended side angle. Seeing how you can open that torso, pressing the chest almost against that window in front of us. One more breath here. And next inhale, we'll sweep back, warrior two. Exhale, we lengthen that front leg, shifting that leg straight. Right hand comes down, right thigh. Left hand lifts up, reverse triangle. Lifted through that left arm. And exhale, we keep the legs and the hips right where they are. We tilt the torso, arms come out through a T, and then lower down into that triangle. Beautiful. We'll take one more breath here. And then lengthen or soften through that front knee. Back to your warrior two. Beautiful. As we reach forward here, we're going to find a block, setting it up right in front of that foot and pressing into that left hand. Whoop. Lifting that right foot in our half moon. Our right toes might stay down to the mat, or they might lift up. We'll take one more breath here, and then we're going to explore turning the torso and the hips as we lower that right hand down to the other block. The whole torso is now facing down towards the mat. We'll bring that right knee in behind the left knee, bending that left knee, little Shiva squat, and then back out, long warrior three. One more time, Shiva squat, crossing that right knee behind the left, and then we'll step that right foot back behind so the legs are crossed, lengthening through the legs, pressing back into the hips, forward fold with the legs crossed, little hamstring stretch here through the hips. Breathing there. One more breath, and then we'll soften through that left knee, bringing that right leg out one more time. Warrior three, and step that right foot down. We lift up to stand, and we find our tree here. Come right into it, lifting that right foot wherever it is. One more breath. Exhale back to center when you're ready, and lower down. Take your time, take it out. We're going to take that on the second side. Playing with balance and movement. A real brain workout there for some of us. When you're ready, we'll come back to that Tadasana. Making sure our blocks are set up right where we want them. And inhale, arms high. Exhale, chair. We're going to fold forward in this chair, arms stay beside biceps, hips might shift back, knees might bend a little more, hands come to the blocks as we forward fold. Pressing into the blocks, and that right foot, left foot steps back. A nice high lunge here. Take a moment and rock through. And when you're ready, we'll root that back heel and lift up using our strength for warrior one. Breathing there. Really bending into that front knee, keeping us nice and stable. Check in with the hips, the pelvis, back. And then drawing those hands out as if we're being pulled forward. Arms are by the ears. Find that length and exhale, sweep the arms back behind, humble warrior. Hands might lie behind us in airplane arms, or maybe the hands in our lace. Whatever feels better. We'll take one more breath here. And we'll release as we inhale, opening out to warrior two, pivoting that back foot, pressing soles of both feet down, finding that stability before we move at all. We gaze back over that right hand, and exhale, Into our reversed warrior, left hand to left thigh. Breathing here. And extended side angle, sweeping that right arm inside that right leg. As we come back through warrior two, we lengthen that front leg, pressing that left hand against left thigh. One more time, reverse triangle here. Tilting through the torso, arms come through that T as we lower that right arm down and forward for our triangle. And back to your warrior two. Grabbing that block in front of that right foot. Breathing here. We open in to our half moon. Taking another breath. And then we're going to turn that whole torso down to warrior three. When you're ready, that left knee bends behind the right. Shiva squat. Back to warrior three. And one more time, Shiva squat. This time stepping that left foot across behind the right. And forward fold here, stretching through those back hamstrings. With the legs crossed. One last time, softening through that front knee. Bringing that left leg into your warrior three. And then stepping it back down, lifting up, and setting up to come right into our tree pose. One more breath. And we'll turn that knee forward and settle it down, shake it out. Beautiful work. When you are ready, we're going to make our way down to our mat and take a seat there. We'll bring the legs out nice and long. Give them a wiggle. Take a moment here. We'll inhale, sweep the arms high. We're just coming into our forward fold here. Knees bend. Let the breath slow down. See if you can draw the crown of the head down towards the legs a little bit more. And when you're ready, you can gently roll the upper body back up to a seat. And we'll make our way to laying down flat on our backs. Knees can bend here. Keep the feet nice and wide. Bringing the knees into a knock-knee position. Maybe bringing the hands back to the belly or chest. And you can stay down by your sides or anywhere that's comfortable. We'll draw the knees away from each other, up pointed towards the ceiling. We're going to shift the hips, just rocking back and forth, windshield wipering the legs. Let's move them independently of each other. So focusing on drawing that right one in and down towards the mat, and then back up to center, bringing that left one down. A couple more on each side. And when you're ready, we'll come back through center. We'll hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little bit side to side. Getting a little low back massage on the mat. And bring the hands to the feet, maybe along the insides of the legs. shining the soles of the feet up towards the sky and into your happy baby. Maybe the legs extend, or maybe they bend one at a time, whatever feels good in your body today. When you're ready, let's draw the soles of the feet together. So you can interlace your hands, holding the feet there, hovering over the hips. And then lowering the feet, the soles pressed against each other, coming into your Supta Baddha Konasana, your reclined butterfly. This is the last shape we'll be finding together as a group before we come into our Shavasana. You're welcome to stay here as long as you like, or if there's anything else your body is still looking for before we close our practice today, you can use this time for that as well. And once you feel ready, you can begin to make your way into whatever shape you'd like to take your Shavasana in today. There's no wrong way to rest. You might find your belly, your back, your thighs seated, any combination. You can begin by bringing awareness back into the body and the breath. Once again, settling the breath until even that can fall to the side, finding your rest, your Shavasana. body. Wiggling fingers, toes, wrists, ankles, turning head side to side. Maybe spreading the shoulders or taking a full body stretch. And when you feel ready, you can begin to roll yourself over to your right side. Straighten your head with your right arm. Moving slowly and intentionally. And taking a moment here is one of preparation for what comes next in your day, in your weekend, the week ahead. And choosing how you'd like to move forward. The work of yoga is all in preparation for this, for our rest, for our shavasana, for being still and finding the joy that exists already within us. The Yoga Sutras tell us that we already possess everything we need to find joy in each moment. It doesn't tell us that we have to be happy or think everything is great. We can still choose to find those moments of joy and to choose to bring them with us. When you are ready, you can use your hands, your upper body to press yourself into a seat, lifting, moving slowly, moving intentionally, deciding how it feels good, how it feels joyful to sit. We'll close our practice here by taking 3 breaths. Your eyes might still be closed, and that is fine. Your arm can be wherever you like. We'll begin with a lengthened inhale. Holding at the top, finding that pocket of joy and sighing it out. Exhale, beautiful. Another lengthened inhale, let the chest open with breath and joy, holding, and then we sigh it out. One more time, inhaling, opening the chest and the heart, we hold, and sigh it out. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope the rest of your weekends are beautiful. I hope they're full of joy and wonderful things. All the love. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great work, everybody. That was so fun. I had such a great time with you all. I feel like that was the most beautiful group of trees I've ever seen. Beautiful forest, truly.
That doesn't always happen. Maybe